Hey, this is Jordan from Jersey, and this is what I thought of Lost, Season 6, Episode 7, Dr. Linus. Ooh, I'm late. Let's just chalk this up to me being unstuck in time. Busy week, but let's get right into the review. This week, as the title would suggest, we follow Ben Linus on the island as he atones for his sins, and off the island, where he actually gets to make a choice regarding his past sins. Let's start with the flash sideways, where Dr. Benjamin Linus is a European history teacher at the same school where John Locke is currently a substitute. It seems Dr. Linus has a bone to pick with the principal of the school, and so he hatches a scheme to oust him. Alex Rousseau is Ben's student instead of his adopted/kidnapped daughter in this universe, and he tries to blackmail the principal with information he got from her that he had been having an illicit relationship with a school nurse on school property. Well, the principal turns things around on Ben and uses a college recommendation letter he had written for Alex to get that blackmail taken off the table. So Ben is faced with a choice: the power of becoming the new principal or Alex. Ben had to make a similar decision back on island in Season 4, and Alex paid the ultimate price for that. But in a nice turn of events, in this universe, Ben takes the high road, Alex gets a recommendation letter, and he continues teaching European history. In the midst of all this, we got a nice scene between Ben and his father, Roger Linus. Apparently, at some point, they left the island before it sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and in a nice mirroring of events, Ben gives his father oxygen from an oxygen tank so he can continue to live. You may remember that several seasons ago, we got to see a flashback to see how his father died. It was because Ben gassed the island and killed his father with poison gas. But in this universe, it's exactly the opposite, so that's kind of nice. Now, back in Timeline A, Alana gives Miles the ashes of Jacob to find out exactly how he died, and she is not happy when she finds out that it was Ben who stabbed him to death. They get back to the beach, she shackles Ben's leg to a tree and has him dig his own grave. While she's not paying attention, John Locke/the Smoke Monster shows up, frees Ben, and tells him to run into the woods where he's got a gun hidden. He'll get the drop on Alana, and then he can meet him over at Hydra Island. A chase ensues, he gets the gun, draws it on Alana, and she surrenders. But Ben doesn't want to shoot her. Instead, he pleads his case. He explains why he killed Jacob. He had spent most of his life in Jacob's service. He did everything he could for the island. He even sacrificed his daughter Alex's life for Jacob, for the island. And he was very upset when Jacob was not thankful for that sacrifice. Hurley and Jack meet up with Richard Alpert in the woods, and he takes him down to the Black Rock. It's more or less confirmed that that's how he got there, although whether it was as a slave or a slaver, we don't know. Richard is a man who's lost his faith. He spent his life in service of Jacob, always being told, hey, there's a plan, we're following a plan. And then Jacob died, so he doesn't quite know what to believe anymore, and he's ready to die. Though it turns out, if you've been touched by Jacob, which that's how he's still alive, he's not a vampire, that was confirmed. If you've been touched by Jacob, you can't die. Or, at least, you can't kill yourself. So Richard gets some dynamite from the Black Rock and has Jack light the fuse so he can finally die. Jack does light the fuse, but he doesn't leave. Seems Jack has had quite the turnaround over the last few episodes, and really the last few seasons, as he's transitioned from man of science to man of faith. And he doesn't think that dynamite's going to explode. He was exactly right. And so now Richard seems to be following Jack. Now back over to Ben and Alana. After they've made their peace, they make their way back to the beach to meet everyone, and we get a shot from the periscope of a submarine, which we follow back down to find none other than Charles Widmore waiting at the bottom of the ocean and heading on possibly to Hydra Island, he doesn't say, but they don't stop to make acquaintances. So that's more or less what happened in the episode. I thought it was really good. Not quite as good as some of the last few, actually, although I know a lot of people loved it. I thought it was very good, don't get me wrong, just not right at the top of this season. We got a lot of nice answers and reveals, or at least partial answers and partial reveals. Richard definitely, or at least it seems definitely, came over on the Black Rock. We got to see in the Sideways timeline that people have definitely been to the island. We knew the Dharma Initiative had, but now we have confirmation from Ben and his father that they were there too. So what exactly happened there? Still left to be found out. We got Charles Widmore finally back on the island, or at least circling it on a submarine. He's been trying to get back for quite a while, and it'll be interesting to see once he gets there whose side he's on, or if he's just on his own. We got to see some more Leslie Arce, which was nice. I don't think we'll probably see him anymore this season. It just seems like that corner of the Sideways timeline has been closed off and reconciled, but who knows? It's always nice to see him back. We also got mention of Nikki and Paolo when Miles mentioned that he didn't need Ben's money because there's $8 million in diamonds buried with Nikki and Paolo, who were buried alive a few seasons back. That was a fun episode. I liked it anyway. And then later on, we see Miles with none other than one of those diamonds. We also got a good conversation between Ben and Frank, where Frank tells Ben how he was supposed to be the pilot of Oceanic 815, but he overslept that day. And Ben says, yeah, it doesn't matter though, because the island got you in the end. If, as I've theorized, and granted, I'm not saying this is the answer, just a possible answer, if the bomb did split the timelines, then it doesn't particularly matter what things are different now, because the island will get them in the end. Even though it's at the bottom of the ocean, time, fate, whatever, Jacob will write things, and it'll eventually all come back together, in theory. Or this could be something completely different. Who knows? I can't wait to find out. This was an awesome episode. Check back next week, which should be on time. Actually, it's Monday as I record this. Please subscribe to my videos. That way you can get these reviews every week when they're on time. And I will see you with the next episode of Lost, episode 6.8. And we are counting down to the final hours of one of the best shows on television. See you next week.